What if I told you that some of the most successful people in the world are actually kind of lazy? Not unmotivated, no, but they're allergic to wasting energy. If that sounds anything like you, then this little explainer is going to feel like coming home.
And look, that's not just some clever line. Bill Gates famously said he'd rather hire a lazy person because they're hardwired to find the smartest, most efficient path. They don't want to struggle. So what if that feeling you've been calling laziness isn't some deep character flaw? What if it's just a sign that your brain is built for efficiency, not for endless grinding effort?
Because what we're going to do today is build a totally new way of thinking about this, a system that doesn't fight against how you're naturally wired, but actually uses it to your advantage. This isn't about forcing yourself to be more productive. It's about designing a routine that makes progress feel light, almost effortless.
Okay, so let's start with the biggest idea of all. Before we can build anything new, we have to really understand what we're dealing with. And the truth is, what most of us call laziness is almost always just a symptom of something else going on under the surface.
This right here gets to the absolute heart of the feeling, doesn't it? This isn't about enjoying a chill day on the couch. This is about being physically exhausted, but your mind is just running a marathon. You're scrolling on your phone, but inside your head is this chaotic race of all the things you should be doing. It's this silent internal noise that just drains your battery before you've even started your day.
So if it's not really laziness, then what is it? Let's move on and give a name to the real enemy here. The thing that's truly behind that feeling of being completely and totally stuck, even when you have huge ambitions. And here it is, overload. See, it's the mental weight of all your unfinished projects, your ideas, your self-judgments, and all the expectations you're carrying around. Your brain isn't refusing to work, it's just refusing to carry this enormous pressure that comes with it. Ambition starts to feel really, really heavy when it's not organized. This image is probably the most perfect way to capture what overload feels like. Every single one of those tabs is an unfinished task, a little worry, an email you never replied to, and the computer, your brain, is still running, but it's slow, it's glitchy, and it can't really focus on any single thing. Of course you freeze up. Your system's crashing.
Okay, so now that we've identified the real problem, overload, let's actually build the solution. This is all about creating a routine that cuts through the noise, lowers the pressure, and just gives your natural ambition some room to breathe again. We're going to start with the smallest possible win at the smallest possible moment. Your entire day is often decided in those first few seconds after you wake up. Before the world starts demanding things from you, there's this tiny little window where you can take back control. And this is literally all you have to do. One slow breath, one simple sentence in your mind. This is not about trying to become a morning person. It's just about clearing away the emotional dust from the day before. The guilt, the feeling of being behind. You're giving yourself a clean mental whiteboard to start fresh. Now let's move to the next rule, which builds right on top of that morning reset. This is the ultimate cure for overthinking and that feeling of paralysis. Instead of staring at some massive, overwhelming to-do list, you pick just one, meaningful thing. Think of it like this, right? When your brain sees 10 different doors, it doesn't know which one to walk through, so it just stands there, frozen. But when you mentally remove the other 9 doors, suddenly the path forward is clear. It's simple. It's kind of unavoidable. And all of a sudden, moving doesn't feel so heavy anymore. That one task becomes your win for the day. Anything else is just a bonus.
But what if even that one task feels way too big? This is when you pull out the 2-minute trick. You're not actually trying to avoid the task, you're just avoiding the feeling before the task. Your brain literally can't argue with 2 minutes. It's too small to be scary, too quick to complain about. It is the ultimate hack to just bypass that first wall of resistance.
So, why do these tiny little tricks work so well? Let's get into the simple but really powerful science that makes this whole system click. It's all about a fundamental shift away from chasing motivation and toward creating momentum.
This is such a key realization. You probably don't have a motivation problem. You have a starting problem. I mean, think about it. Once you finally started cleaning one little corner of a room, you often find yourself cleaning the whole thing, right? The hardest part is always just getting into motion.
This just nails the whole dynamic perfectly. That first step is the heaviest, but the second is a little lighter, and the third is almost automatic. Momentum is so much stronger and way more reliable than motivation will ever be. You don't need a giant push from behind, you just need a tiny little nudge to break the stillness.
Okay, let's pull all of this together.
Because this isn't just a random collection of life hacks, it's a completely new way of looking at yourself and at your ambition. It's really about building a new identity.
And this is it. This is the entire lifestyle, the whole philosophy, boiled down into a single sentence. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters in a way your brain will actually get on board with. This approach is efficient, it's sustainable, and honestly, it's built for ambitious people who are living in the real world, inside of tired bodies.
So I want you to reframe all those past struggles. The problem was never you. It was just a mismatch. Your ambition was totally real, but the systems you were trying to use, well, they belonged to some imaginary, perfect person you thought you were supposed to be.
And that brings us to the final, most critical point of all. Real, lasting consistency doesn't come from forcing yourself, from using brute force and discipline. It comes from designing a path of least resistance, where the right choices actually become the easiest choices. You're just making it easier to win than to lose.
So I'll just leave you with this question. Forget about the giant maze of perfection and all the pressure to just grind and hustle. Mazes aren't solved by force, they're solved by movement. So looking at everything we've talked about, what is the one small, calm step you can design for yourself today?